Most people assume compounding is only for people who already have money. They imagine it like a feature that unlocks once your bank account is big enough. But the truth is much simpler. Compounding works for anyone who understands the three milestones you move through long before money starts to grow on its own. Everyone who ever built wealth passed through the same stages, whether they knew it or not. The challenge is that most people get stuck in the first stage, not because they lack discipline, but because the early part of compounding feels slow, invisible, and unrewarding. If you do not know these stages, it's easy to think you're doing something wrong or that compounding is not working for you. But once you understand these milestones, everything makes sense. You can see where you are, you can predict what comes next, and you can stay consistent long enough to reach the point where compounding becomes unstoppable. The first milestone is the one almost everyone struggles with. I call it the small starts feel pointless stage, and if you've ever started saving or investing for the first time, you've lived through it. You put aside small amounts, maybe it's $10, $20, $50, whatever you can manage. You do it weekly or monthly. You try to build the habit, but each time you check the account, it feels like nothing has changed. You might save for months and only see a few $100s. You see others with thousands or tens of thousands and wonder if you're too late or moving too slowly. This is the stage where most people quit. Not because they're lazy or because they don't care, but because the results look too small compared to the effort. The truth is that compounding has already started working. But at this stage, all the growth is happening under the surface. It's like planting a seed. In the beginning, nothing seems to happen. The soil looks the same. The seed doesn't sprout. But underground, everything important is taking place. Roots are forming. The base is strengthening. The foundation is being built. Your financial habits follow the same pattern. In this early milestone, every small deposit is strengthening the root system of your financial life. You're building consistency. You're learning to delay impulses. You're teaching yourself that money doesn't have to disappear the moment it shows up. You're shifting your entire relationship with money, often without realizing it. This milestone is the hardest because the work feels invisible. You're changing, but the numbers haven't caught up yet. And because of that, most people assume it's not working. But the truth is, if you stay in this stage long enough, you graduate into milestone 2, the stage where the work finally becomes visible. The second milestone is the growth becomes visible stage. This is where you finally see the payoff for all the tiny efforts you've been making. Your account begins to cross small markers. A few hundred turns into 1,000. 1,000 turns into 3,000. 3 turns into 5 or 10. These numbers aren't life-changing yet, but they're different enough to make you pause. They're big enough to make you say, wait, this is actually working. In this stage, something powerful begins to happen. You see your money growing without you doing anything at all. Maybe it's a few dollars, maybe it's a small percentage, but it's the first real sign that your money is starting to work with you instead of depending entirely on you. That moment is one of the most important turning points in your financial journey. You've probably heard people say, your first 10,000 is the hardest, or your first 100,000 is the hardest. They say that because the early part of compounding is slow. But once you've built a base, once you've entered milestone 2, the process shifts. Your money becomes active instead of passive. Your past decisions begin paying you in the present. The you from months ago starts helping the you today. This is when you stop feeling like you're starting from zero every month. When you make a deposit, it stacks on top of something growing instead of something flat. And because of that, milestone 2 builds confidence. It shows you that compounding isn't magic, it's momentum. And that momentum is what pushes you toward the third stage. Milestone 3 is the stage most people want to reach, but very few ever do. I call it the money grows faster than you do stage. This is the moment when your money grows more in a month, a quarter, or a year than the amount you're adding. You might add $200 a month, but your investments might grow by $300 or $500 or even more. This is the stage where compounding finally becomes what people imagine it to be: steady, automatic, and powerful. It's the milestone that gives you options. It gives you time. It gives you breathing room. It gives you freedom later in life. And the most surprising part is this: reaching milestone 3 doesn't require high income or perfect timing. It only requires consistency long enough for compounding to catch up. When you enter milestone 3, something shifts in the way you think about money. You stop feeling like saving is a burden. You stop feeling like investing is a chore. Instead, you feel like your money is part of a system that protects you. You start to understand that wealth isn't built by huge jumps. It's built by quiet, steady growth over long periods of time. You realize that money doesn't need to grow fast to change your life. It just needs to grow without stopping. And that's what happens in milestone 3. Your money keeps moving even when you don't. You go to work and your money works in the background. You sleep and your money grows. You take time off and your money doesn't care. It keeps building. Even though milestone 3 is the reward, the real transformation happened long before you got there. It happened during milestone 1 when the results were invisible. It happened during milestone 2 when the results began to show. Compounding only becomes powerful when you refuse to quit during the slow part. And that simple decision to stay consistent when nothing seems to be happening is what separates people who reach financial freedom from those who never see it. But here's something most people don't realize. The boundary between milestones isn't fixed. You don't suddenly wake up one day and cross from one stage to the next. The change is gradual. It builds quietly. Most people only notice it in hindsight. They look back and realize how far they've come. They see how small habits built into big outcomes. They understand why the early part was necessary. And they finally see compounding not as a financial trick, but as a life strategy. This is why people say the best time to start investing is as soon as you can. It's not because early investing makes you rich overnight. It's because early investing gets you into milestone 1 sooner, so you can reach milestone 3 earlier in life. The sooner you start, the longer compounding has to work. The longer it works, the more it grows without your input. And the more it grows without your input, the more control you gain over your time, your work, and your choices. But here's another truth. Even if you start late, these milestones still work. Compounding doesn't punish you for being behind. It simply rewards consistency whenever you begin. What matters is not your age, your income, or your past mistakes. What matters is that you enter the first milestone and stay long enough to reach the next. Once you reach milestone 3, you understand something people in milestone 1 can't see yet. Compounding was never slow. It only felt slow because you were at the beginning. Compounding always moves at the same speed. The difference is how much money is behind it. A small snowball takes time to become noticeable. A larger one begins to roll faster. And once it's big enough, it moves on its own. That's what milestone 3 is. It's the point where your financial snowball starts rolling without you pushing it. So the question becomes, which milestone are you in? Are you in the stage where progress is invisible? Are you in the stage where your growth is beginning to show? Or are you in the stage where your money is finally moving with its own momentum? Wherever you are, know this. You're on the right path. Most people never even begin. The fact that you're watching this means you're already ahead. Your consistency, not your speed, is what will determine your results. The milestones don't care about income level. They don't care about luck. They don't care about timing. They only respond to one thing: whether you keep going. And if you stay committed, if you stay patient, if you stay long enough for compounding to catch up, your future self will look back at this moment with gratitude. You won't remember the slow early days, you won't remember the frustrating plateaus, you won't remember the moments when you doubted yourself. You'll only remember that you kept going. And that simple choice is what will shape the rest of your financial life. So here's my question for you. Which milestone are you in right now? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want a plan to reach milestone 3 faster, the video on screen breaks it all down, step by step. See you in the next one.